Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Welcome to another edition of Mythologic Radio. My name is Tom Murasso from BornToManifest.com, and it's great to have you all listening. And as always, this show is recorded and available to either listen to online or download and listen to at your convenience. And tonight I am real happy to have an author, Jay Hill. He's much more than an author, but what kind of drew me to him was he's got a book called 2012, A Guide to Spiritual Awareness, and you know how near and dear that is to my heart. But Jay lives in, as he puts it, the freezing Minnesota North Country, where they've been having an extremely cold winter. And he calls it a below-zero extravaganza. But like I say, Jay Hill is an author. He's a lifelong spiritual seeker, and he enjoys working with disabled adults at a nonprofit agency in Minneapolis, St. Paul. He practices meditation, Reiki, and helping others with their spiritual paths. His book, as I said, is called 2012, A Guide to Spiritual Awareness, and he co-authored this release from Inner Circle Publishing in 2008. He also hosts a radio show by the same name on Aware Talk Radio, and that's at blogtalkradio.com/aware, and that's every Friday from 8 to 9 Central Time. And Jay's message is that by 2012, we will all need to make a choice. And that choice is to use our God-given intuition to follow our inner guidance. Or the other choice is to be controlled from the outside by the domestication training we're given daily and be overtaken by the monumental changes that are even now underway. Jay exemplifies what we can all become: ordinary people on extraordinary missions to help and save the world we love. Jay believes that rather than heading for disaster, we could emerge within a very short time into the most splendid period of human and planetary transformation ever, and that it's a matter of free will, our choice. 2012 is only 3 years away, and most people can now see and feel that great change has begun. And Jay can be reached at his website, guidetoawareness.com. Welcome, Jay. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's just jump right in here. Tell me about this book. You say you co-authored it, and it's kind of like channeled material?
Right. I, as you mentioned in the bio, I have, through the years, helped a number of people with their spiritual paths and so on, and have done some channeling myself and kind of transmedium work with psychic reading type work, things like that with people, and in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And I had been working with someone in the job that I was working at the time. Well, I'm still in the same company, this nonprofit, and I met a young lady, and she approached me and said, I believe my brother who has passed on is directing me to speak with you. And so this was his kind of a typical approach sometimes with me. With people come up, they kind of just come up and dump things like that on me and say, I'm just directed to talk to you, and they give me their life stories and just lay everything out, and I got messages that come through to them. And so, and that's really actually happened to me since, I would say, back for the past 40 years. And at first, I used to get kind of perturbed it would happen sometimes because I really didn't know what was going on and what was happening and so on. And I think it's occurrences like that help direct me into meditating, into seeking the more spiritual path myself. And so I got into it quite a bit. And to jump back up now into the present, what happened was her and I started talking and then started working together. And after about a year, I literally was getting messages that I should be writing a book. And so I approached her and said, I'm getting all these messages that I should be writing a book. And we were in a coffee shop where we'd meet and discuss things. And she literally, I actually witnessed her almost. She literally took on another face. Her hands changed, and you could just feel the whole place just filled with energy. Everybody looked over at us, and she said to me that she was literally getting visions of angels coming down and just flapping their wings around and stirring up all this energy, and she was still fairly new, just a year or two to really getting into any type of spiritual path at all. And so this to me was like quite the sign. I said, oh, I guess we are going to write a book. And
yeah, that was validation for you. Okay.
No, it was. It was big time validation because it was just a rush. And it's just like people talk about, you get the rushes up and down your body and so on and so forth. So we got into getting together and writing. And we were originally going to, what I was getting to write a book about was really a simplicity, something simple. That was the main message and whole thing that was coming through. So we would discuss it, and I would see what she was picking up and so on. And we had been working with her to see where her talents and gifts lied. And she was quite good, telekinesis, healing, a lot of hands-on work stuff. And we started to write a book called just Live to Simplify and Live Simply, a spiritual approach to living, and just a book about getting on a simple spiritual path of treating each other good and how to do that. And so we were sitting and actually working one day on the book. We had started it and got some of the chapters done, and we were doing pretty good. And I said, I'm just getting the message. There's just too much energy around us. Let's see if we can talk to somebody or get somebody to come through here. And so she was typing, and I was channeling the way we would channel, which would be to do a brief description of that. Is I would literally hold the space. I would try to completely ground out the space that we were working in and hold it in a very higher vibrational light manner, filling it with light and love and putting in a sense a protective cocoon around us so that anything that came through would not really be of negative sort, of course. And because I think when people do this, and I know from experience, when I do that, when I automatic write or channel or get into something like that, it is like turning on the light and all kinds of different energies. You get attracted to you, and they all
okay.
Yeah, they just kind of start gathering around, and some of them, of course, are different, and, of all sorts. And so, but what came through was actually right. I said, just let's see if we can get them a channel to come through right through you, because she was a real fast typist and I wasn't. And I said, we can start knocking out this book and we can type it. And literally the first sentence that came out was, you are not going to write a book about what you think you're going to be writing this book about. And it just blew us away. And we went on to then, over the next number of months, touch base quite a bit with a collective group of messengers from the other side who would never really pinpoint names or anything, just identify themselves as a collective and just here to pass on information that's needed out in the world, and that we were, because of what we were working on, we were able to do that, and how we were living at that time, and just a little kind of combination of things that led us to where we were, that also tied into some of the lessons we needed to learn in life and so on.
Sure. Okay.
Right. And so we kind of just got it going, and we started writing it, and it was happening. It was throughout. The book got published in October, and for the rest of that year in 2008, we were kind of receiving information, trying to decipher it, trying to receive information, both of us, at the same time in different places, and then comparing it to kind of check our notes, we were doing things like, of course, in any of readings and things like that, any type of work I do like that, I always try to self-check myself with, my intuition and what's happening with gut feelings and down into that level, not only just a third eye information stream that comes through and so on. And so we just kept double-checking. We were getting a redundant message over and over and over, and the book started out by just saying that people need to literally start